I am just really so happy and privileged to be here right now. To not just play, but actually give you a piece of my thoughts, ideas, experiences, things we have to share. Why not? Diba? That's why we're here. And when I got the call from Mark, dun pala sa title, alam ko na yung pag-uusapan eh. Bakit nga ba hindi? Okay, I'll start from the warrior drum, right? Warrior of the drum. Okay. I'm really more known as a percussionist. Started out after college. What people don't really know is my roots are really in Filipino martial arts. This started in college, 1993. And I'll say what Tito Tommy said. People are here because they care. They want to ask questions. They want to give their thoughts. They want to put you want to put your thoughts on the table as well. In a way, the speakers here act as amplifiers, maybe, or outlets in that sense. Because everyone here has tackled on something that means so much to me. This country, our people, what can we do about it? Do we leave or do we make our stand here? Do we make a revolution? Do we tear up the country, start from the ground up? Or can we implement change? Now, why am I talking about these and then I have water bottles in front of me? My career started very unusually. Long and short of it, percussion didn't come into my life until after college. And till college, I would play with my friends. Banda-banda, tugtugan. I did not think it would be my career. Tito Tommy said something important, well, something that struck me. Sometimes we invite the things that we don't want. Oh, I wanted to be a musician, but I didn't think I was going to be. And not especially a whole new field of instruments. Kasi iba yung drum set po eh. Sa pagkukonga, sa pagtitimbale. I used to do that for kicks. Now, what is at the core of what I'm doing? Whether it's percussion or Filipino martial arts, nangingibabaw sa akin yung identity, yung innovation. As an artist, we've heard it kanina, ang daming hindi daw pwede. Kulang sa pondo, kulang sa support, pero hindi tayo kulang sa ideas. I've seen that. I work with people who are not household names, but the skill is off the charts, world class. Kasi dito naman sa Pinas, hindi lahat ng sikat magaling eh. And unfortunately, yung mga talagang magaling, hindi lagi sumisikat. So it's a question of pride versus the money thing in that sense, no? But, I'll keep it light first. I got into percussion because there were so many sounds that the drum set could not do. And when I was listening to songs, anything as simple as Sailing by Christopher Cross or sabihin na natin Latin. Let's go to Gypsy Kings for a very good example, or Santana. I started to notice, yun? Hindi yun drum set. Saan nanggagaling yung mga sound effects din, yung mga maliliit na tunog. Curiosity came about. I got into a band called October Project. I got very much into Enya. And then Grace No No. I started going out live. I started to see things. I saw the Asian Fantasy Orchestra. This was in 1997. There were about, 50 or so musicians from all over the world, mostly from Asia, who all got on stage and made this fantastic production. I'm like, that is not seen on TV. That is not heard on the radio. That is not pop. Saan natin yung makikita? Saan natin yung makukuha? Saan ako pwede makatikim niyan? And 10 years later, I'm in the thick of things. I'm embroiled in whatever movement you might want to call it. And the problems still haven't changed much. The only thing I'm grateful for are the people I'm with haven't changed either. They are still pushing. That's why people are here in this room today. I go back to that. We care. We want to do things for the country. We want to do good for the neighbor. We do it for the world, except we're bounded by oceans. But it's about man for others. So on my personal end naman, coming from that, I'm thinking the whole time, what am I going to do after college? How am I going to apply this? I'm going to be a lawyer, a politician. I really thought I was going to be a politician. I was always in council, college and high school. I thought I really would follow the path of my father. But after 10 years of doing this, yun na nga eh, you're unsure. What's sent to you is not exactly what you had in mind. And then you deal with it. So, call it reluctant start, but 10 years later, I'm still playing. And from the traditional instruments of, let's say, the conga and bongos where I started, I've moved on to this. For the past 3-4 years, especially, I've been focusing heavily on this. Now, getting some, how do you say it? Kampante ka after seeing that eh. Because believe me, when I first brought this out, everyone thought I was crazy. Even my fellow musicians here. And what I'd like to do is go through the bottle and at least break it down. Kasi definitely there is an effect. There's an impact. Plastic, bote, recycling. But the reason why I fell in love with it is because of the sound. It has more sounds than most of the drums out there. If yung, sabihin natin yung mahal na drums na may brand and so on, any day itatapat ko to. This 200 peso flat bottom water bottle. Ito lang yung key dyan. Kailangan flat yung ilalim. And it will have all the sounds. Kasi most of the time, let's say conga, bongos, djembe, or an African drum, or Arabic drum. Pwede mo siyang itratong kahon. My favorite part, though, is this, the note-bending characteristic of the bottle. Are there any, like ilan octave yan? That's 3 octaves, ladies and gentlemen, from a simple plastic water bottle. That's three scales. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do times 3. That's what I'm focusing on. The Baghari Samahang Manlilikha is a bunch of artists like us. And we do performance art, visual, and audio with Filipino martial arts as the hinge. Not because it's not done, because I enjoy it, but it just so happens that no one's touching it. A year and a half ago, to push the point even further, one of the things I did to rest from music, and to save up on some money was I went into call center work. Enjoyed it very much. I worked for Teletech for about 8 months. The money I saved from that, I went to Puerto Galera. This I think you find interesting. In Puerto Galera, there lives a man, one man, who I've brought people to see. He practices a very strange form of Filipino martial arts. He is the only one left in his island. No one else wants to learn it. And he has no name for the style. But when he moves, alam namin. He is my best example of a pure strain. I won't say virus, wag naman. Something else. Basta pure strain siya. Meaning, to me, it's so exciting to see someone with no ego, no pride. When I went to see that, when I met that guy in 2000, maybe I'll cap it off with this. 5 years later, I came back and still no one was attending to the guy. So what we did was we made a 24-hour challenge for comic book making using Filipino martial arts as the theme. So I brought 5 of my friends, non-practitioners, who most of them I just met, went on the beach. For 24 hours, we created an environment and we created comics about Filipino martial arts. I believe in what Ma'am Grace said, saan yung Filipino content? Well, this is very untapped. And I find it sad and sorry, yet actual and real, na ganun talaga sa bansa. Pero ayoko kung hindi ako makontento sa, kasi ganito sa bansa eh. Doon nga yung labanan eh. Where is the will to act? And let's stop blaming government also. You know, government is part of the problem. There is something endemic, you know, that keeps us from pushing, keeps us from excelling, rising above. Some people say inferiority complex, some people say, yeah, colonial mentality. Hindi eh. The whole point of why we're here is maybe remember and realize or discover things that we can fight for pa. Not everyone is leaving. Some people are here to make a stand. If you're unsure, my principle is when I'm not sure, I don't move. But one thing I have experienced is when the student is ready, the master will appear. And that I'm very thankful for. And all of that has led to me being here. I really can't say enough because I didn't expect to be an artist. I didn't expect to be doing it as a living. I didn't expect this to happen. I didn't expect that 93 I started Arnis, 97, 98 percussion after college. And then 2001 I realized there was a way to combine. Everything I did on this drum earlier is based on actual sinawali. I'll cap it off with this. No? Now, it's called the Kali drum because the consensus, at least the majority, is that before the words arnis and eskrima, which are Spanish words, arnis comes from the word harness. Harness of the hand, arnis de mano, which is a spin-off of fencing. Kaya yung ibang groups tawag nila eskrima. Before that, many groups attest and say that it was called Kali. And one of the ways you can measure that is, can you spell this word in alibata, in our old alphabet? Yung Kali meron eh. Kali literally means bladed weapon. This was the generic term for fighting knives and fighting arts as a whole. Before the Spanish came, yung Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, magkakasama pa tayo. So it's worth looking into. I'm not the expert or authority on it. I am not a martial arts instructor. I worked very hard on my drumming. I'm definitely not a history professor, but maybe I've put a few things in your head to look up, to look into, make us feel better. So maybe one of these days, the world will not be, or at least the country will not be kept in order by a stalemate of force. Maybe, hopefully, it will be done a la Star Trek. Masaya tayo lahat, kumakain, may trabaho, push for advancement, so to speak.